now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's the one, the only, PUCL Podcast.
It's PUCL! PUCL! It's PUCL! PUCL! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! PUCL! PUCL!
And welcome to the 562nd episode of the PUCL Podcast. I am your host, Trainer Thatch, here today with my wonderful co-host. We've got the wonderful, as always, I don't actually know who goes first in this situation, Basket? Say hi, Basket.
Woo!
Okay.
Hey, guys. Woo.
Didn't even follow instructions.
Yeah, and welcome also to Seth Vilo, as always,
Yeet.
the Lord of the Land.
The Lord is here. Be not afraid.
And welcome to the PUCL Podcast. PUCL, of course, standing for the Pokemon Underground Champions League, a nonsensical name we came up with in 2007, where we talk everything Pokemon, from the trading card game to the video game to everything in between. And today is definitely trading card game. I am very excited.
Heck yeah.
Dude, I'm so excited. I have been playing so much this week. It's real bad.
You're welcome.
I don't know that it was your fault specifically that did this. It's definitely just been something that I've, like, in the back of my mind, I've been wanting to play again for the longest time. Because, like, I used to play back, like I said on the show previously, like, between the years of, like, 2016 to 2018, I played.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing super competitively because I was a poor college student, so I wasn't playing top tier anything.
Yeah.
So I wasn't playing anything. So anything, like, super competitive. Like, my favorite deck was Tapu Koko GX.
Oh, you were one of those guys.
Yep. That's a weird one.
Because it was so cheap. My favorite thing is, I don't think he listens to the show anymore, but we used to, so there was a listener of the show that we met through the show, but we were both in Columbus at the same time together, and we would go to league. And one day, our leagues are not like we're not like standard leagues. I've learned.
Oh.
Because I've learned
Okay.
I've learned that standard leagues, you go and you just like play a small like tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that, because our league, we would just get together and we'd legit just start matching up against each other and just play Pokemon.
There's kind of some leagues do some leagues do the other. I'm in a couple, and there's more casual ones like the one that you're talking about, and then there's other ones that it's a mini tournament every night.
Yeah.
So
this one was definitely, so this one was very laid back. And so one night we decided we were going to have a tournament, and the league was pretty small. There were only like 8 of us, maybe, that would show up.
That's
to
not
it.
bad.
Yeah. And I mean, compared to what I'm seeing here, oh my gosh, the leagues I've gone to have something like, one night we actually had enough players to do 5 rounds of Swiss.
Wow.
Yeah. So like that's the size of leagues that I'm seeing here. Like we're talking like 14 to 16 people, and there were like 8. And so we're just like, oh, we're going to do a cute little, best of one tournament here. And the guy that I would go to league with, who listened to the show, Beaverla, he would like run Volcanion EX, which was big at the time. That was like,
nice.
There were like 3 big decks, if I recall at the time, that like essentially rotated because of weakness.
Yep.
And so he was playing Volcanion, and I mean, it's obviously a very good deck, and he was a very confident player, and he would, and so I just remember, because I'm playing Tapu Koko GX because I'm broke, and and so I was playing Tapu Koko GX. I'm just like, I'm probably gonna lose this matchup, but he had like, he bricked so hard that I ended up winning the whole tournament. Because I was in the final. That was the finals match. He bricked so,
no.
And so I go, yeah, that's right. I'm the best.
And then he never listened to PUCL again.
I'm like, yeah, I'm the best. I just beat you with Tapu Koko GX. I think we know what the better deck is. So that's one of my favorite memories from back then. But man, yeah, so like it's always been in the back of my head, like now that like I have a real job and stuff like that, like maybe I could go and play, and have some fun playing TCG again. And then it was I wouldn't say you're the fault, Seth. I would just say you're the catalyst.
No. Think of me as the Mentos to your Diet Coke. You had that potential within you all along.
You know what's worse? Do you want to know how many Lost Origins booster boxes I've opened so far?
Oh no. Is it more than 2?
No, it's 2. It's exactly 2.
Okay.
It's exactly 2.
You and I are on the same playing field then. Did you pull anything good?
Well, not from a. I'm really awful. I get 2 Elite Trainer boxes. I get the Pokemon Center version, and I get like the in-store version. Because
okay, so you are worse than me. Okay.
because sometimes the Pokemon Center version has like differences.
Yeah, it does. Some cool ones, actually.
Yeah, occasionally, and it's not consistent, which is very frustrating. By the way,
yeah.
It's not like the Brilliant Stars one had a bunch of differences, and then the Pokemon
Jeez,
Go.
those Brilliant Stars dice were ugly. Go on.
But the Pokemon Go one was really nice. It actually had like the metal dice and stuff in it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh boy, we should just like use this. I just want more metal dice. And so I was like, maybe fingers crossed we'll get metal dice out of the Lost Origins one. And the answer is no, absolutely no. It's just the same dice you get in the standard one.
That's interesting. I've been TCGing for a while, but I always buy the singles because
as you should.
If I don't, I'm going to lose all of my money for the rest of my life.
By far the more intelligent way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. You should just buy singles because to be fair, I did make my money back on literally everything.
Yeah.
Because I did pull, so there's in the Lost Origin set, there's this really nice alt art Aerodactyl. And I'm assuming there was a buyout this past week of it because the price skyrocketed to like $170. So we did pull that, and so like it made a lot of the money back from everything we spent. The problem was like by then I had already ordered a lot of the singles I needed.
It's still $150 right now. Oh my gosh. It's a very cool art though. I will give them that.
No, it is a really cool art. It's like the Machamp that came out of Astral Radiance. The alt-art Machamp.
Exactly. People pick one fighting type V and they're like, this is it. This is the one that we're going to buy out.
To be fair, like there is an argument that like maybe one day Aerodactyl V can be a card.
No.
That's usable, but like it's probably not happening.
No.
It's definitely, I think it's more playable than the Machamp.
Maybe.
But that it may yes, a hard maybe. A very hard maybe. But so I did pretty well in terms of that. No, Basket does it the smart man way, where he goes, these are the cards I want, and he does that. Because I think out of the booster boxes, the number of cards I pulled that I'm actually going to use is very low. I mean, the only thing I did pull that like I will probably use, like I pulled stuff for like, we'll talk about it later, but like the Clefairy deck and the Finneon deck, I pulled everything I need for that. And I like doing it because then you end up getting enough trainers for everything you need.
Yeah.
When you pop the booster box, because like you're just like, oh, I'll just get the trainers I need instead of buying them single turn.
Or you could buy them for like 15 cents each.
Okay, Basket, stop.
Exactly.
Okay. But
stop making us feel bad.
It's the convenience factor of having them all in one box.
They will be shipped to you in one box.
Shut up. Shut up.
Basket, stop hurting
You
me.
know that...
Stop it, you're hurting him.
Y'all know that meme where it's like they hated him because he spoke the truth. Shut up.
Yes. Basket's absolutely right. Like, if you want to play the game, just go buy the card singleton. The only time it is better, I think, to buy like any actual product is the new V battle decks. Because
those are pretty good, yeah.
Those are actually a pretty good value. Like in terms of the single pricing versus what's in there, you usually get your money's worth.
You just get most of a Mew deck here in a little bit.
Well, yeah, the Mew deck one is going to be.
Yeah, I buy a lot of the battle decks actually because that's honestly how I get a lot of like I'll check out what they have on the back and I'll be like, oh dang, that's like a $7 card or whatever. There's like 3 of them in here or something like that, and then I'll I'll buy them that way.
Absolutely.
Because it actually, I mean, there is something to be said about going and like picking out something like physically in like a toy store.
It feels good. Yeah. It feels good.
Yeah. So I'll go there and I'll look at those. And I'll typically get like my trainers and stuff from there.
Yeah. It was, I mean, I like going to local game stores and just like buying them from local game stores when I can.
Support your local economy.
Yes.
Well, the only problem I have with it is like sometimes they just won't have what I need, right? Like when I sold the Aerodactyl this week, I still hadn't bought the Zoroark pieces for the Zoroark deck. And I was like, yeah, so I have like one Hisuian Zoroark V that we pulled from an Elite Trainer box, and I've got and so I'm like, I need 3 Zoroark Vs and 4 Zoroark V stars, right? I'm like, I know that's a big ask. Just tell me if you got them. And so they went and they're just like, all we got is 3 and 3. I was like, oh god.
Wow.
I'm missing a V-star. To be fair, I think in more of the newer in quotes, like after the week is developed, deck lists, they're typically only running 3 V-star, so I'm probably good to go. But it's definitely been an experience. Definitely been an experience. I don't know. You guys been up to anything fun other than listening to Thatch tell you about him opening Pokemon cards?
Go ahead, Seth. I need to think about this.
Yeah, sure. I am hitting the tournament circuit hard this season.
You have been.
So the first one I'm going to is Peoria at the end of the month, and
Yes.
I'll report back with how badly I do.
Just run Dialga.
Blech. No, not again, please. Not until Zacian V-Star comes out. Then I might do it again, but up until then, no siree.
Is that coming out in the one thing?
In the one thing. The next set, I presume, the November one?
Yeah, in Silver Tempest. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's coming. I was hoping it would come out in Lost, but no. But I've just been doing a lot of that, practicing up for those tournaments. I was in a couple online tournaments this week. I'm in like 3 more over the next week or so, and just trying to get reps in for that for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna hop in some tournaments with you this week.
Heck yeah.
So I'm very excited. I just like playing, and it gives me, I don't know, the thing that like I can play online with spectacular ability, but then like I get in my head a lot. I have like real bad imposter syndrome about being a Pokemon TCG player because like I all the time I just like, well, these guys are probably more serious about it than me, and then I had this epiphany like the other day where I'm just like, no, I've been playing a lot of PTCGO, and I'm thinking about the number of hours. I'm like, oh, I'm putting in like 2-3 hours a day on average. Accidentally.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm probably in like top tier, like top 10%, top 10% or something in terms of like practice.
Top percentage, if you will.
Yeah.
I used to actually shake when I would like go to tournaments, and I would be like,
right,
trying to like play my cards, and I'd be like, oh my god, like physically shake.
That's why I was going to League was honestly just so I could go and get used to playing with physical cards, so that I wouldn't feel like an imposter the entire time. Because Seth can vouch, like when we were at NAIC, I was like very concerned about being able to shuffle.
Yeah. And
because like you feel bad.
You'd lost that muscle memory, that's for sure.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh god, I need to shuffle.
Yeah, that was a big part of the shaking for me, was like, yeah, you don't want to hold anybody up, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's because you have empathy and you're a human.
They'll look at you and be like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. What about you, Basket? Anything good going?
So I thought about it, and the answer is no. I've been working for like the past 2 months because
I know.
So everybody decided that in the night crew decided that they were going to quit. So it's been me and this one other guy for 2 months. In the first month, the owners, they closed at 2 p.m., which is when our shift normally starts. Mondays and Tuesdays for the first month, and then after that they're like, no, we got to open up Mondays and Tuesdays. So now it's 7 days a week for your boy.
Fun.
And I'm having a blast about it.
I imagine.
I get so much free time with my wife and my dog, and it's wonderful.
That's a good time. That's a good time. All right, well, let's go ahead and kick it on over to the news then. So let's cue that epic music.
Radio Tower. This just in.
And welcome to the news. In the news, we've got a few things. I think the thing that frustrated the Pokemon community the most this week. The Pokemon Stadium games will be releasing on Nintendo Switch Online next year. Probably close to Pokemon Day, if we were to make a guess.
That would make sense.
However, it enraged the internet because they put a big little, well, not big, but at the bottom of the screen, it said, you cannot transfer Pokemon into these games. And and the Pokemon community lost its mind. And I was just like, I don't know what you expected.
Right.
Yeah, how are they going to,
I don't know.
Yeah, that's silly. That's silly.
Well, so there were some rumors very early on when Nintendo Switch Online dropped that they were including transfer pack code type stuff into the Nintendo emulator, the N64 emulator, which hadn't been there in previous iterations of it. So it did give people hope that maybe we would get it, and I'm still holding out hope that maybe it will happen post-launch or something while they figure that out. The good news is I think you can at least play the Pokemon mini games online with your friends now, so that's something. Woo! That's something. I mean, playing Pokemon Stadium with just rental Pokemon is just literally the most difficult thing in the entire world.
So it's a challenge.
So I do not recommend.
All
right. Challenge is not the word I would use, but if you want to use it, if you wanna hurt yourself,
are they doing like any sort of like remaster or like upgrading?
It will be kind of in HD.
Kind of.
Okay.
Yes.
You get 5 more pixels. Congratulations.
The polygons are definitely still there, and the polygon count's the same, but maybe the pixel density is better on those polygons.
Fantastic.
It'll probably look worse because of the whole CRT to flat screen issue.
Absolutely.
Huh.
All right, Seth, tell us about Sword and Shield.
You bet. There's still news for this game.
Yep.
And this one's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
So, Shiny Eternatus has been confirmed. It's going to run through October 2nd in the US, Canada, and Australia and New Zealand. I don't know when the end date is, forgive me. But for North America, you go to GameStop for it, and for other places, you can go to EB Games and things like that. But you can get Shiny Eternatus. Hooray!
Yeah.
It looks very cool.
And
up until now, it has been shiny locked. So
yeah.
And while you're there, don't forget to pick up your the last of Ash's Pokemon, Lucario, through Mystery Gift.
Blech.
You can get your password there at your GameStop.
Oh, you can't get to that GameStop. No, you can't get to that GameStop. No, it's just a download.
It's online.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, it's online.
Yeah. It's not a GameStop.
Well,
you can just download it right now. Like,
where do you get the password?
Either Cerebi or the PUCL Discord in the news links.
Yeah, I think we posted them all when they came up.
Yeah, because I don't think they're not like actual US distributions. I think they're all Japanese distributions because right now Ash is going through the finals in Japan in the anime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're giving out his whole team as a result.
He's the second best player in the entire Pokemon world. Hooray.
For right now he's in the top 2.
I had one job and I blew it.
They haven't finished.
He's gonna be the second best player.
I don't know. I'm gonna wait to see. They could throw me a curveball.
Leon swept through 4 things, including like 2 hard type resists with a Rillaboom.
It's fine.
You can't stop that, man.
It's fine. Pikachu can do it.
Unless Ash pulls out a Latios and a Darkrai, I don't see how this is gonna happen.
Oh, could you see that? That would be such a good turn of events. All right, moving on to Pokemon Unite. Dodrio is now out in Pokemon Unite. And it's good.
It
is. Have fun playing Dodrio. Yeah. So it's the first speedster.
It's really good.
It's the first speedster they've added to the game since launch. It does a thing where it like divvies up the points between the heads, so like it dunks like a third of the points at a time.
What?
So you score a little bit faster. Yeah, you score a little bit faster. Like you can dump like at least a third of your points. It's probably going to be the speedster of choice. They did a very smart thing, in my opinion. Because one of the most frustrating things I have with Pokemon Unite is when a new Pokemon comes out, everybody will just like dump their coins into it and get the new Pokemon, and then everybody plays it, and then you don't get a chance to play it.
Yep. And then they did it smartly this way.
Yeah, it was because like you could pay for it always, like right, you could just pay the money instead of using the in-game currency. And so what they did is they essentially took a week where you can only pay for it with like real people money, and not coins, so that if you paid for it, you get a chance to actually play it.
Now, it's kind of a cool thing.
It reduces the issue. It does not get rid of the issue, but it reduces the issue. And I'm okay with it. Like, I know that there's some people who are probably upset about it, and they can continue to be, but I am not upset about this.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got some TCG news, which I think is actually really big, and we should definitely talk about.
Absolutely, and I can dive into this one. So, we've got the CP thresholds for Worlds and everything. We got a lot of updates this week, and the CP thresholds was one of them. For those of us in North America, it is still 400 points for seniors and 500 points for masters. So get to work, folks. Locals will be coming back at some point.
I don't like that. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like that it's 500 and that we don't have locals until 2023.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Because the way they used to do it is like the best finish limit used to be by quarter, right? And so we're essentially missing out like 2 quarters where you could be getting championship points going to locals. And I mean, that's not like a small chunk of change either. Like you could
half the year. Yeah.
You could very easily get within that time frame like 200 points. Well, not easily, but you could get 200 points in that time frame. Because you're allowed like a best finish of like 4 or 5 of those events. And I think they maxed out at like 20, but that doesn't include things like mid-season showdowns, which were a little bit more in terms of like value for your points. So it's just something to think about. I don't know. It's kind of upsetting to me because it just means that people who are getting into the game like me have a harder chance of getting that qualification, because 500 points is a lot.
It is.
I mean, and I don't plan on winning a regional. I'm going to tell everybody that right now. I plan on maybe getting like maybe if I'm good enough one day, I'll get 128th. You know, top 128.
What if when you and I go to Arlington, it's you versus me in the finals? Wouldn't that be just banana? 2 nobodies out of nowhere who happen to know each other.
I don't think that will happen because we're going to end up facing each other round 1.
That would be so cool.
We're going to end up facing each other round 1, and I won't be able to get over my the master can't beat the apprentice complex.
I don't know. If I dead draw like I did in these online tournaments, I think you'll be fine.
I do believe that I'm a better Kyurem player than you right now.
I would agree, given I have not touched it.
So I will say that. I've tried
a couple other things.
But yeah, keep going.
Yeah. A couple other things that I just want to throw out there. With that update of all of the CP thresholds and all that kind of stuff, a lot of information on their website was changed.
They messed up so much.
With a grain of salt. They messed up a lot of things on that update, like between dates being not quite correct, the Milwaukee regional being moved out of the city of Milwaukee
to Madison.
Yeah. So what you need to do, and what I recommend doing, is if you are confused by something changing, find on Twitter the organizer of that tournament, and from there you can see what they say.
That is so much work.
It is so much work, and it's borderline unacceptable, but it's what we have to deal with right now. So I'd go find the tournament organizer and see when they say their tournament is.
Yeah. See, there are plenty of skills that you will learn while you're starting to play the TCG, and one of those is detective work.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, why is this happening?
Additionally, you'll also learn how to book flights and hotels.
And learn how to get them canceled.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, the other last bit for TCG is the TCG Live beta continues to roll out. 3 more countries have been added to that: France, Italy, and Germany. So we'll wait back for the report from Whimsicott on how this game is.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sure she's going to give us the inside scoop.
She definitely will. I just love that they're like, what this tells me is like, this is coming whether we like it or not. And I just want them to rip the Band-Aid off and just
they've got to make sure their game is operable first, and that you don't just keep accidentally drawing cards until you draw through your deck or the timer runs out.
Then stop putting it in every country.
Yeah.
It's literally like...
I think it was something...
It's like in the rest of the world that is not the US. It is almost everywhere else.
There was a glitch, I think it was with like Treasure Energy or something, where you just kept drawing cards until your timer ran out, and then...
That's the best glitch.
It was the stupidest thing.
Best glitch.
They're working on it, though. I know they're working on it. It's just they have to rewrite the entire darn thing from scratch. Yeah. So, patience, folks. It's coming, and it'll be an okay product when it lands, but I would say don't migrate your account over yet.
All right.
Yep.
So, we got some hot, spicy news for you Pokemon goers. There's a new event called Test Your Metal, and it's running through Wednesday the 21st. If you turn on your game, you might find a Togedemaru, which would be pretty cool.
I think that's new. Maybe.
Togedemaru?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
is it?
like... Yeah,
okay.
Because, I mean, I've never found one. So I'm pretty sure it's...
I haven't seen one either, so I'll default to you too, Basket. So.
Also, while it's happening, you get more candy based on the quality of your throw, which is pretty cool. And then we've got until September 27th, we've got a bunch of raids. We've got Mega Aggron, Kartana, Celesteela, but they're all going to be like separated out into different regions.
Just Kartana and Celesteela. I think it's just Kartana and Celesteela.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Mega Aggron's going to be everywhere.
I think they're the ones right now.
But Kartana is going to be the northern hemisphere, and Celesteela is going to be in the southern hemisphere.
And then hopefully Liger can invite us to a raid.
Yes.
Yeah. Celesteela is in hot demand, apparently.
It is, very much so.
And get your magnifying glasses out for catching Kartana, because its capture circle is microscopic.
It's so silly.
That's hilarious. I still haven't like been able to like get in a raid to try and get Kartana, but I heard about that and it kind of makes me want to cry.
Yeah.
All right. So, like we like to end every new segment, we like to end it with a Puckle's Pokey predictions. We are going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and look at this and say the final part of the terrestrialization trilogy. This is we did 2 other questions about this previously. Do you expect to see terrestrialization used more offensively or defensively in competitive Pokemon? Example, ground type Gyarados versus flying or water type Gyarados.
I know my answer.
What is your answer? Just tell it. Just give it.
I think it's defensive.
I agree with you too. I think defensively is definitely the answer.
Yeah, because
basically giving Paldean forms to Mons that have good move pools but crap typing.
Yeah.
Like I keep saying it, Avalugg is going to be OU for a little bit. I keep telling you.
I believe this.
Steel Avalugg broken.
Steel type Avalugg.
Recover and rapid spin. What?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Recover,
and
rapid.
press,
I think it also has gyro ball too, right? So
yeah,
like it just
and
has
if the Hisuian one comes over and if it keeps some semblance of its move pool, here's the moveset.
Oh, no.
Stealth Rock, Body Press, Recover, and Rapid Spin.
Oh,
Broken.
Man.
That'll be fun.
Oh man,
I'm here for it.
Nasty.
I'm here for it.
I was gonna say like defensively, just because being able to like switch over and save yourself when a new Pokemon comes out sounds fantastic to me. Just like, oh, you're gonna try it?
Yeah.
Nope. Stopped.
Actually, I resist this move.
Yes,
Haha.
exactly.
I just keep picturing the. I really liked the movie Arceus and the Jewel of Life, and in the beginning part where Arceus first appears and the 3 dragons are shooting attacks at it, and you see it basically just change discs, essentially just pulls out the plates, shifts them a little bit, pushes them back in, becomes a different type, and just absorbs the attack completely. That's how I feel terrestrialization is going to go. Like, you're looking at this poor fool in front of you like, no man, I'm God. I resist this move now. I'm immune to this move now. Go back to bed.
You know what would be something that would be really interesting? I don't know if you guys have talked about this on like separately or whatever, but arena trap with the terrestrialization or something like that would be pretty cool.
Ooh.
Oh, we have not talked about that, but that's not a terrible idea.
No, I'm not trapped, actually.
Yeah, I'm a ghost type now. Get out of here.
Flying type Heatran.
That would definitely make those abilities worse. I don't know if you would do it just for that, but maybe. I see terrestrialization as like, I don't think it's going to be as big of a deal as Dynamax, which makes me happy.
God. Since it's not tied to an item, you're going to have to know the Terra type for every single one of your team. And oh no, I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay.
Yep. It's going to be a whole thing. All right.
Yeah, it's going to be a thing.
All right. Well, that's going to be it for this episode. We are going to, or not this episode, this segment. We're going to kick things on over now to Puckle's Poke Quiz, where we're going to quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge.
Hello and welcome to the Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz your co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge. I'm Professor Snag with the rules. The co-hosts are working together as a team to answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions that you, the listeners, have submitted on the Discord server. Each question is worth 1 point, with Pokedex and multiple answer questions worth more, for a total of 7 points. The hosts can use a free hint at any time. If they get all the answers correct without using the hint, they can cash it in for an 8th point.
And welcome to the Trivia or Puckle's Poke Quiz, where we're going to quiz your co-host. Thank you for that introduction. Without further ado, though, let's jump right on into it. Our first question this week is going to come from Egotistical Elekid. And Liger must really want me to ask you this because he has left it on there the past 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh, no.
What is the only Pokemon to have every vowel in its English name? No Ys. Ys do not count as a vowel.
Every vowel?
Every single vowel is in one Pokemon's English name. Which Pokemon is that?
Oh, no.
Oh man.
I feel like it's gonna be one of the Ultra Beasts because they're made of vowels.
No, they're not all made of vowels.
Nagana. No.
Hisui and Decidueye.
Does the word Hisui
Does that count?
There's no A. Wait, there is an A. No, that does not count.
Yeah, there is.
IAN. Dang it.
Dang it. Oh,
There is. They are all there, though. I do give you that. Oh my gosh, that's true. They are all there.
Lock in, finally.
You're actually much closer than I'd like to admit, though, in terms of like where this Pokemon's from.
Really? Okay. E-N-A-M.
It may have Hisui in front of its name if it was a TCG card.
In E? How many vowels? A-E-I-O-U.
Yeah. A-E-I-O-U.
Okay, Enamorous is missing an I. Okay, dang it.
It had
that has 4 of them. That has 4 of 5 of them.
Yeah. 4 out of the 5. There's one with 5 out of 5, though.
Ursa. No. What are the weird evolutions? No Ys. Because if he gave us a hint that it might have Hisui in front of its name,
if it were a TCG card,
if it
were a TCG card, I want to make clear about if it were a TCG card, it would have Hisui in front of its name.
Which implies to me that since the TCG thing did it's not Obstagoon, it's Galarian Obstagoon.
Yeah.
So this tells me that it's one of the Hisuian evolutions that is only in PLA. What is Quillfish evolve into?
Killfish.
Overquill?
Yeah.
Overquil. What is it? Am I missing something? There's no A.
Yeah.
There's no A. Okay. Overquill doesn't have an A.
Oh boy.
Ursaluna doesn't have a lot of them.
What's the
Sneasler? Is that Enamorous? I mean, unless we're taking Hisui and Enamorous.
Hey man, that was my best guess.
I mean, it was a good one. Technically, you are technically correct, which is the best kind of correct.
You are technically with the Hisuian. You are correct. Yes. But,
oh my God! What are the other Hisuian evolutions?
Man, you're having such a hard time on this one.
There's like Typhlosion.
It's like the exclusive to PLA things, I think. Lilligant, no. What is that other one?
Spooky.
Ghost no. It's missing an I. Why?
Oh man.
What is wrong with me? I need to play PLA. I haven't even finished the freaking game.
It was in the trailers like a lot.
I'm sure it was.
The ghost fish, Basculegion.
Basculegion. Final answer, lock in.
Yes.
$1 million.
Basculegion is correct.
Yeah.
Holy macaroni.
Basculegion does. Yep. That's why I haven't wanted to ask this question. All right.
Oh, gosh.
So your next question is going to be, well, I'll let you choose. Do you want a question about games without abilities having abilities, or do you want a question about the manga? Your choice.
The first one. I know nothing of the manga.
Like every year, I resolve I'm gonna get through all of the manga, and then I start
It never happens. Yeah.
I know that Feraligatr tears an Arbok in half. That is
Feraligatr doesn't do that. It was a Charmeleon that did it.
Yeah.
Moving on. Moving on. I will go ahead and ask you this question. It is from On Her. Pokemon abilities weren't introduced until Generation 3, but in Generation 2, there's a Pokemon with an overworld ability. Who's that Pokemon?
a Pokemon with an overworld ability?
There's a Pokemon that in the overworld will do a thing.
Is it like is it separate from like a because okay, like for instance, right? There's like, and I don't know if you can answer any of these questions, Thatch. But there's like Sweet Scent, where it'll like attract Pokemon to you. There's like do you have to use it, or is it?
It's kind of like that. You do not have to use it though.
Okay.
So it's just innate, but it's kind of like those things.
It is passive.
Passive second gen.
It's in the second gen
thing.
I missed that part. Okay.
He said it's in
Gen
well, we
2.
don't know if it's a second gen Pokemon,
but
it is in Generation 2. It has an overworld ability. It will essentially create an item for you, possibly.
Oh, Shuckle,
There
right?
you go. Yep.
Berry juice? Yeah.
You are correct. It is Shuckle. If Shuckle is holding a berry, there's a 1 in 16 chance that it'll turn into a berry juice at the end of each battle.
I never ever knew that. That's
Heck
cool.
yeah.
Fun fact.
That's Shuckle's whole gimmick. It's the
That's
fermentation
right.
Pokemon.
I never
the episode
ever played with a Shuckle, if you can't tell.
Yeah.
And then, so there you go. You guys are 2 for 2. Your next question is your Pokedex entry question, as always. This one is going to come to you from, let's see. We are going to do it from Gray the Gray. Its Pokemon Shield entry reads, these Pokemon are vicious and cunning. They take up residence in nests dug out by other Pokemon, treating the stolen nest as their own lairs. Who's that Pokemon?
Vicious and cunning takes over nests.
What's the the region Pokedex thing that you pulled up?
Shield, he said?
What?
That is Shield, correct. It is from Pokemon Shield. So I can tell you it's not Froakie.
Yeah. Or any of the, DLC, that's the word, DLC guys.
No, the
Taking up
DLC guys
nests.
actually have entries. They
In
came out-
regular Sword. Oh, yeah, they would.
They
Wouldn't
would.
they?
The only ones that don't are the ones from the Max Layer because they're not technically like in the regional decks of Crown Tundra.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I guess that makes sense.
So
So it might be a DLC guy. Go ahead.
Wait, so it might be a DLC guy? Is that what you're saying?
I think so. It could be. Just because, like Thatch said, they do get a Sword and Shield entry upon landing. It's not a Isle of Armor entry, it's a Shield entry.
The only one I remember from Sword and Shield that was like stealing stuff is Nickit. But it also makes me think of like there's those birds in like actual nature that will like kick out other birds' eggs.
Cuckoos?
Yeah.
It does. Those are good ideas. I think it mentioned specifically digging holes, and I don't think that's a very bird or fox-like thing to do. The first, this might be because I prepared a PTU one-shot last night with this Pokemon, but the first Pokemon that comes to mind is Skorupi.
That's good. That's good with me because
I don't even know if that's in Shield. I don't really either, so I think we just go ahead and if you're good with it, we can lock it in and lose the game.
Yeah,
You
I'm
good with
good
that?
'cause, yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah, I got nothing either. Let's get another entry. Skorupi, final answer.
Skorupi is unfortunately incorrect. The next the next
Curses.
entry is going to be from Pokemon
Wait,
Sword,
do we not get to find
which
out?
reads.
Oh wait, yeah. Sorry.
You do.
Sorry.
You get a hint. You got 2 points if you got it right
Gotcha.
just there, but this is for 1 point. Its Pokemon Sword entry reads, this Pokemon lives in caves, but it never skips sunbathing. It won't be able to move if its body gets too cold.
What?
So that's like a
Okay,
lizard.
so reptilian. Yeah. Reptilian cunning thing. It's not the pseudo legend. It's not Gibite. It's not Cyclizar. No.
Cyclizar.
Oh man.
It's not Helioptile. Those aren't cunning.
Well, I think that's just presumptuous.
That is. Look at his goofy face, and he's stepped on. Like, that's not cunning. You find them by stepping on them. Can you read it? Can you read the sword one again? I'm sorry.
The sword one. This Pokemon lives in caves, but it never skips sunbathing. It won't be able to move if its body gets too cold.
Lives in caves, is cunning, steals holes that things dig.
These are all true facts. Based on the entries, I don't know if it's true in real life, but this is what a 10-year-old said
don't.
once.
Yeah, exactly. I am drawing a blank here. I can't think of any other cave-dwelling reptiles.
Okay, so you just did the cave sunbathing one, right, Thatch?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Yeah.
And then the other one was...
These Pokemon are vicious and cunning. They take up residence in nests dug out by other Pokemon, treating the stolen nests as their own lairs.
Nope.
It's a dragon type.
Oh.
Yeah, is it a Gibble? I don't know.
Ground type and digging. That helps.
Well, yeah, and he said it is a dragon, so I don't know. I'm feeling more and more on the Gibble line, maybe. I don't know.
Stealing the nests, though.
What are dragons?
Well, stealing the nests, I think that would be like...
mythical creatures.
That would be like an older one. So instead of...
It's not Drudagon, is it?
I don't know enough about Drudagon to answer that question. I think Gibble or
I like
Garchomp. I'm leaning more like Garchomp.
Garchomp's going to be like, I fly at the speed of sound. I think Gibble's more appropriate.
All right, let's do the Gibbles.
Hit me, Gibble. Tell me how wrong I am.
Gibble is incorrect.
No.
The answer is actually Drudigan.
Dang it.
Drudigan.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about that guy, really. He's red and blue.
Dang it. It only just came to me just a second ago when I said it. So dang it.
Drudigan. All right. Well, you guys are 2 for 3. Your next question is your multi-answer question, as always. You can get up to 3 points here.
Ooh.
Because, yep, they are. This question has 7 answers.
Okay.
I will give you a point for each 2 answers you give me. If you get all 7, you can give yourselves a nice big pat on the back.
Oh, we only need 6?
You only need 6. You can only get up to 3 points here. This is going to be from Farmer Fox. What are the 7 moves that have semi-invulnerable turns?
Oh.
You have to lock them in. You do get 3 strikes.
Specifically semi? Like it doesn't include...
Semi-invulnerable because like some of them you can get attacked in.
For example,
by certain
let's
moves.
lock the first one. Let's lock the first one in. Dig, you can still get hit by Earthquake.
That is correct. Dig is one of them.
So, Dig is 1. Phantom Force is another.
That is 2.
Shadow Force is another.
That is 3.
Dive is another.
That is 4.
Bounce is another.
That is 5.
And Fly is another.
That is correct. That is 6. Do you know the 7th?
I'm trying to think of it.
Nobody used it, so it got banned.
Sky Drop.
Sky Drop, yep. Sky Drop got banned from VGC by like official Pokemon tournaments because there was a bug in the code where something would happen where it would just like keep like the Pokemon holding the Pokemon invulnerable forever.
Keep you in purgatory.
Yeah. So it was bad. All right, so that gives you guys 5 for 4. Your next question is your base stat question, as always. This one is going to come to you from the trivia master himself, Liger.
Ooh.
What grass-type Pokemon has the highest special defense of all grass-type Pokemon?
With high special defense. Okay.
Ferrothorn leaps to mind with 115, just to give us a baseline.
Ludicolo?
No. I don't think any of its stats are above 100.
He's just a big guy.
He's just a good boy.
Tangrowth? Maybe? Yeah?
No, special defense on that is like 60.
I got
defense is like 120.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why you run Assault Vest on that thing, because it's got a good HP stat, but blech. What are some legends or whatever?
Well, it's not.
Shaman is 100. Shaman Skyform's less. Meganium's nah. Goodness gracious. Is there Megas? Are there Megas that are good? Venusaur has pretty good, but I don't think it's higher than its defense, which is 120, which puts it below Ferrothorn.
You do have the hint, by the way.
Defensive grasp. Oh yeah, we can cash that in because we got a question wrong. Let's hit. Let's do it. Let's hit me.
So this is a dual type grass Pokemon.
Okay, cool.
All right.
It is the other type. I don't want to give you the other type. I think it'll give it away. I will tell you its base stat is 127. It is a member of a group of Pokemon as well.
Oh, Virizion.
Wait, what do you mean?
Virizion is correct. Yes. Yeah. Virizian's got a base stat, special defense base stat of 127. Next is a tie between Mega Venusaur and Eldegoss at 120. Followed up by Ferrothorn at 116, and then Cradily and Rotomo at 107.
Cradily? Really?
Cradily was on my mind.
Yeah, Cranially is pretty bulky.
It's a thick boy.
It's pretty thick.
It makes up for in its lack of speed what it has in defensive stats.
It also makes up for it in the fact that it doesn't have really like any good attack stats either. So.
Yeah.
So like there's that. It's got that going for it, which is something.
It also makes up for it in the fact that every time it hits the field, you have to run a quick type chart test of yourself to be like, what is this thing weak to?
Yes, because that's very true though, because like the grass rock typing is disgusting. But that gives you...
It neutralizes a lot of each other's weaknesses. Yeah. It's crazy.
That gives you guys 6 points today. So that does change up the standings.
Woo!
It's so bad. You guys, you're going to... This is the most people we've had in the running at once. Ever. Wow. After this trivia cycle, as I'd like to remind everybody, we are going to be shifting from the 30-point maximum to the 40-point maximum to give more people a chance to make it. So... This is gonna. Currently, we have a 3-way tie for first place with
heck yeah
with 28 points. Our Sigma, Sublime Manic, and Seth Vilo.
Heck yeah!
In fourth place, we've got Shark Finnegan with 26. In fifth place, we've got Lydian with 22. In sixth place, we've got Claude9 with 21. In seventh place, we've got Whimsicott with 18. In eighth place, we've got Mark with 12. In ninth, Shamu with 7. In 10th, Basket with 6. And in 11th, Jushira bringing up the rear with 4. Everybody, I think that's everybody, actually. That's everybody. Never mind. I was going to be like, everybody else has yet to get on the board. No, that's everybody.
That is everyone. There is no board with which.
There is nobody not on the board. Yeah, this is like the closest it's ever been. Like, we have so many people in line to win. I don't know what happens if like Sigma and Sublime are on the show together. I don't know what happens.
I just looked up like what Credulity's weaknesses are because I've never thought about that.
Oh, it's horrible. It's
hang on.
Fighting.
Give me a test. I've got a test. Fighting, steel,
and,
bug.
You forgot ice.
Right?
I think
fighting.
I think steel
ice. Oh, yeah.
and
fighting.
ice make total sense, but I don't understand why fighting and bug. Like
fighting, super fighting is rock.
Yeah, but doesn't grass does
bug
grass
against
resist
grass
fighting? No, I was thinking electric.
Nope.
Okay, and then bug.
You're thinking bug. All right. Well, tune in next week, I guess, for more Poke Quiz. Maybe we'll have a winner at some point. I don't know who. It keeps on going. All right. So we will catch you all as we kick it on over to the topic.
And now, coming to you live from atop the Goldenrod City radio tower, it's the one, the only, PUCL TCG Cast.
And welcome to the topic. This topic is a little bit different than usual. We're going to be taking once a month from now on just to kind of get that competitive energy out. And we're going to talk everything from a competitive standpoint. VGC isn't happening right now, which is both wonderful and awful. Mostly because the format's really bad right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of the format. I think a lot of other people are also tired of said format. So, I think it's good for everybody involved. It's a healthy separation. The circuit this year's just being very weird anyway, in addition to that. So it is what it is.
And there is like things like the Smogon world, and not a lot is happening there either.
No, this happens every gen though, where it gets kind of stale.
Exactly.
At the end.
Exactly.
So I'm not surprised. And so what we really want to focus on today is, unsurprisingly, the Pokemon TCG Thatch's new obsession. New old obsession, I should say. New old obsession, because I was very much into it back in the day, and more so now. I don't know. I feel like I understand way more about what's going on than I used to, and which is both good and terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to talk about that. First thing on my agenda, though, is this weekend while we're recording, Baltimore Regionals is happening. And I'm sure by the time this is released, we will definitely have a winner for Baltimore's Regionals. Though, given how TPCI has been operating lately, it could just be a lie.
Ha! They get there and they're like, wait, there's no regional. Why are you here?
Or somehow they find a way to make a rain delay.
Here, take this.
Right.
Take this flying Pikachu card as recompense.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is happening.
Yeah, it's happening.
It is happening. I'm watching on Twitter. Some of the people I follow are reporting their results in. So it's going on right now.
It's happening, guys. It's happening. Pokemon's happening. And because this regional doesn't include the newest set, Lost Origin, which we mentioned last week's show, where I was just very excited to get a lot of the new cards in my hands.
Mm-hmm.
Your hot little sweaty hands.
In my sweaty, my hot sweaty hands.
Ew.
No, I'm just very excited for this set. Like, this set is Lost Origins. I'm very excited for because, like I've said on the show before, it's like the first set that I've really gotten into since I've gotten back. Like, Astral Radiance came out right as I started getting back into it, and I was like running to catch up to the train, right? And now I'm on the train, and we just picked up a new passenger at the station. And it's a lot of fun to see the new toys. Yeah, I've been enjoying it immensely as a result. So I do want to talk about Baltimore, though, for a little bit, only because Pokemon Worlds happened like a month ago, and we're still in the same format as Pokemon Worlds. Like, nothing's changed, technically, in terms of the card availability.
Mm-hmm.
Which so I think, at minimum, I wanted to discuss just briefly what we think might end up taking home the win at Baltimore, and I want to be a little risque, personally.
Ooh.
And I want to say that Palkia and Teleon is probably best deck in format, and this is its moment to shine.
At this moment, I would agree with you, which is why I would argue that some Arceus Pikachu variant is going to top it.
That's what happens every time. Well,
it is.
I think what happened at Worlds, too, is a lot of people brought, and I saw this when I was playing in late night prior to Worlds, a lot of people were bringing a lot of anti-Palkia stuff, like just to mess up Palkia's day. I don't know if you could
quash it out of the format.
I don't know if you could win with like a pure Jolteon type deal, but it definitely gives that Palkia player an L. You might not win any other games, but you're going to give that Palkia player an L.
Yeah.
So if you really hate him.
Unsurprisingly, a lot of people feel that way, though.
You want to hear my risque take?
Is it?
Yeah, I absolutely
do. Is it Hisuian Arcanine? Okay.
No. Well, that's not out yet.
Oh, right. We're not talking about. Gotcha.
Lost Origin came out, but it takes 3 weeks for cards to be legal in tournament. So it's not available until Peoria at the end of the month.
I think there has been a tremendous amount of hype around this deck specifically after Worlds, and it is an Arceus variant, but it's not the ones you're thinking. I believe that if it doesn't win overall, it will be in the top, and it's Arceus Aggron. People have been running about the same 60 that the guy did that came in top 8, I think, at Worlds.
I know what you're talking about.
And it is honestly terrifying. Very hard to stop.
I don't think he top 8. I think he did top 16, though.
That might be it. Like, he was like 9th or something.
I looked at top 8, and top 8 was literally Arceus Peak and Inteleon Palkia. It was entirely that.
Yeah.
There was one Mew player.
He was number 13. I just found it. He was number 13, and people in online things, both Lost Origin and not Lost Origin, have been running almost exactly his 60 to immense amount of success. So I think that can take on both the Arceus Pikachu variants and the Palkia variants at the same time. I think it could top it.
I think if you futz with the list, it might be able to do it. Just because I think any of these bulkier decks that are coming out recently, where they're just like it reminds me. So this is Thatch again. This is like a back in Gen 4 moment, but like back in 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
I remember like the Wailord GX, and they would just, or maybe this was Wailord EX. I don't remember. There was a deck though that was just pure stall because it was such a fat Pokemon, they could just keep healing the damage off.
Yeah.
And it ended up doing incredibly well.
And Max Potion existed.
That's when Max Potion existed. I could see one of these fat decks winning, especially right now playing the game, because you do see like a lot of the big decks. I don't, in this current format, the Astral Radiance format, I think Lost Origins fixes this to some extent. You do see a lot of, it's hard to hit numbers. It's hard to hit high numbers. You max out maybe 310 in a lot of decks.
Yep. Yeah, there's a big hard top out number on these.
There's a hard top out number on a lot of them. And I don't know, maybe we even see, dare I say, maybe we see Radiant Hawlucha see some play in top decks.
Possible.
I think it's very possible, especially with the number, like you see the Duraldon, you see the Aggron. I could totally see
that. Could be cool. That could be really cool.
I've always had faith in Radiant Hawlucha.
I think this is gonna bum you guys out, and it's not very fun speculatively. But I think it's going to be a Arceus flying Pikachu mirror match in the end.
That's what happened at Worlds, and it's probably going to happen again.
I know. I think it's gonna be Worlds 2.0, man.
It's a very solid deck.
I don't blame you. It reminds me of like a lot of the VGC championships where things don't evolve after Worlds, and so then things just get stale. That's what I imagine this regional is. It's just going to be a very stale Worlds.
Yeah, but
yeah, and I don't think there'll be a lot of changes. People will play what they played because the testing environment is so weird and different. You can't really test online because everything's lost origin. You can do online tournaments, PTCGO things, because that's not legal there yet. But like the general testing,
yeah. I think, and plus, they've had what, like a month, like a month to like dive into another deck and try to learn a new deck if that's what they're going to try and do. And they could be like, just moving out different things and trying them with the same Arceus deck essentially. But why, like if I'm a TCG player and I'm trying to get these 400 or 500 points depending on how old I am, then I'm going to go with what I know and what I know like worked well for me. And I'm not going to fix something that's not broken. Cause to me, like the Aggron, Arceus, like, yes, that's a very cool, very good call. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't blame you. I mean, I don't blame you at all.
For those of you who don't know too, because I know this is a general episode, it's not a TCG cast episode or anything. The Aggron is really cool because it takes a lot of energy, but it does 270, like
Woof.
For not a lot of drawback. So with one Arceus charge up and a couple manual attaches or metal saucers, does it play metal saucer? I need to look it up. But it is surprisingly quick to charge up, does 270, and the magic number in the TCG right now is 280.
Yes.
So it's a very good... Oh, no, it doesn't play metal saucer, but it's a very good thing. Arceus just gets your Aggron ready to go. It takes 5 energy. You can do it even with double turbo. You hit magic numbers incredibly efficiently with Aggron. Like even with a double turbo and a choice belt, that's 280 just right there. It's perfect.
I could see that just because it's these bulky Pokemon. Like if you have 330 HP, which I believe Aggron V Max does, correct?
Yes, correct. 330.
You have 330. Yeah. If you have above 320, you are a 2-hit KO regardless of the scenario.
Yes.
Regardless of what deck you're playing against, you are a 2-hit KO.
Yep.
Which is huge. Huge, especially when you could just like boss up something that's just you can just knock out and then you take 2 prizes. And it's huge. I could see it doing well. I don't know if it'll win. I would love for it to win. Like a little part of me.
That's my call.
A little part of me just wants Palkia to win just so it can get its one win.
Yeah. No.
I think it's a disgustingly dumb deck.
Too many of them go to tie. It's not going to win.
I'm also not a big fan of like Palkia players. Or not Palkia players, Inteleon players. I should say Inteleon players.
Hey man, that's like a third of our TCG base.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Basket, I was 1000% playing Palkia.
Rotation can't come soon enough.
Palkia Inteleon, or I was playing Ice Rider Inteleon for like, I can't wait for Inteleon to be kicked out. Honestly, I'm really happy to see. This is, I guess, was a good pivot point to like the next stuff. I'm really happy to see like in the new decks that you don't really need Inteleon to make them function.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with this. Because I hate Inteleon. I can't tell you how much I hate Inteleon.
I'm right there with you, my guy.
Like I just hate it. It's so slow. It's so slow. Basket, I don't know if you've played a game against an Inteleon player lately.
No, not lately.
But it's god. I still have flashbacks that day at NSO. I still have flashbacks.
Experience.
I still have flashbacks to like that kid just holding his deck, staring into space for 30 seconds.
Like, yeah, it's wild.
I'm like, are you playing the game or we
you gonna do something?
It's what it felt like.
Felt like that.
Seth played the same guy, so like he knows what I'm talking about. It was wild. It was wild.
Oh, yeah.
I could not.
So that's our call. That's the call for Baltimore, I guess.
I don't know. I do like I do see it. I think Baskets is probably the most likely scenario, but
honestly, yeah. But I can dream.
But it's boring. It's boring as heck, and I understand.
Yeah, well,
give Aggron a
I
win.
understand the
I just want to see something else win. I mean, I think that was something that everybody felt about the format, though. Like, I saw so many people during the Astral Radiance format just see the decks and go, is anybody else in the same boat where I am, where this is like the first time in a like that none of the decks seem really fun to play? And the answer is like, kind of, yeah. I feel that. Like, the decks just weren't fun. Like, some of the decks just weren't fun to play. Like, Palkia is good, but I don't know that I wouldn't call it fun. You know what I mean? Like, it's a good deck, but is it a fun deck? No.
I don't like having to do math.
I don't mind the math. I like the math, but I've also got a PhD in physics.
That makes one of us.
That was a ridiculous thing to say.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
That makes one of us.
I like math.
Oh, I thought you were talking about his PhD.
I meant the math thing. Also the PhD.
All right. Well, let's pivot then. Let's pivot.
All right.
Let's pivot. Lost Origin came out this week, and we got a lot of cool new decks out of it. Like, I'm super happy with this because the decks that came out of it are at least fun to play.
Double heck,
and they all play so differently.
In stark contrast.
Yeah, they're so much fun to play. And even like the gimmick decks, I think, are more fun to play than the variants before.
Right?
We'll talk about it. So I want to get started. There are 3 big decks that came out of this, and these are all these are essentially what I would call tier 1 decks. Maybe you can make an argument for like Zoroark being a tier 1.5 deck, but even then, I don't know that I would say that.
Yeah.
I think these are all tier 1 decks, and like if you have these decks, you will probably do well if you learn how to play them. The one that I've been playing the most recently has been the Kyurem VMAX deck, because it was very cheap initially. It started to go up in price.
Yeah.
Because very early on, I looked at it and I was like, this is going to be good.
What does Kyurem do? Just so we get a kind of reminder.
So I used to play this Ice Rider variant, which you do run with the Palkia V-Star. Palkia V-Star has the V-Star ability that lets you grab up to 3 water energy from your discard and put it onto Pokemon that you like. So it's a nice, easy recharge for water type decks, which is really nice. And so it's Palkia V-Star not only is a decent attacker, as evidenced by the fact that just Palkia wins a lot of things and does well at tournaments. But it also is just a very good support mon in terms of these water type decks, and Kyurem is actually the deck to do it. Kyurem VMAX is a bit fat. Remember we were talking about those numbers earlier. Kyurem VMAX has that 330 HP, so the old decks do have a hard time hitting that for an Oko. So it's just something to think about. Though you can, I mean, I've been seeing variants of decks though that can start hitting 340. Which make
like mine,
which you like the Giratina and the Zoroark we're both going to talk about. We're going to talk about in a little bit, but they have been starting to hit 340, which might start meaning doing something. But Kyurem VMAX also has an attack. I forget what the attack is called, but it does do max icicle spear thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it does 120 damage plus 50 for every water energy you discard. It does take 3 water energy to use, but it does uncap the amount of damage you can do. There's no cap. You could have 10 water energy on that Kyurem, and you could do 620 damage if you really needed to do that.
The attack name is Max Frost.
That's what it is. Yes. It does have an ability on it as well called Glaciate World, which discards the top card of your deck. And if that card is a water energy, you can attach that to any Pokemon, not just a water type, any of your Pokemon. You can just attach it to.
Gosh, that seems gimmicky, Thatch. What if you can't figure out a way to secure the fact that the top card of your deck is a water energy? If only there was some way you could do that.
Oh boy, Seth, let me tell you.
What?
To be fair, there are two ways to do that. One is to use the Oranguru from Sword and Shield, which does have the ability Primate Wisdom, which lets you just...
Oh my god, is that the Oranguru that lets you put the top card of your deck on top of...
Yes, you draw the card and then you put a card back on top of your deck, so you can guarantee that it's a water energy. Additionally, you could also use Rotom Phone, which would let you go ahead and take a look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and if one of them's a water energy, you could just say, this is the card that's going to be on the top of my deck. You could do it both ways. I have not played too much with Rotom Phone. I don't think it's necessary.
It depends on how hard you go into the QREM line.
Yeah,
like the thing that Thatch and I have been discussing is there's kind of two lists out there, one of which uses a Barrel engine,
Yes.
and one of which focuses really hard on this QREM and the Orangaroo package. So there's kind of two versions out there right now.
Yes.
It's still up in the air on which one is better.
I think mine's better, but I mean, I've played a lot of it. I've played more of it than Seth has, but that's it. It also kind of comes down to, it's kind of like playing, like if you played the video game, you find a play style that works for you the best.
Exactly.
And so it's kind of like that as well, because there's a lot. It's not in the TCG. A lot of it comes down to, can you play the game and can you play it well? Do you know what decisions to make? Are you good at making decisions? And if you put yourself in a situation where you can make the right decisions, I think you will do better than if you were to play a deck that is quote unquote the best, but you don't know how to do it. You don't know. You can't understand the flow chart and make the decisions. I like the one I'm running a little bit better right now. I did play that list actually, like literally right after you and I had talked about it last night. I was on PTCGO and I ran into somebody running that list. So one, I was just like, oh, I know every single card in your deck right now.
Yep.
And I was just like, so if I just like start bopping that Orangaroo you have up there, I will just turn you off. I'll just turn you off. Which is why I don't like that list in particular, is because you just knock out the Orangaroo and then they're like a little dead in the water.
Mm-hmm.
What list I'm running uses Orangaroo but doesn't rely on it as heavily.
It's just a fun bonus.
Yeah, it's honestly just a bonus. That's the way I try to view Orangaroo, is just as a bonus.
The Barrel engine is so nice, just letting you draw up to 5 cards.
Exactly.
It's such a handy little thing. You can search your deck a lot more easily, and you're Roxy proof, which is a scary supporter that you can be hit by that puts you down to 2.
But yeah, this thing does like uncapped damage. It's crazy. I have a lot of fun with it. I'm also like well conditioned because I've been playing a lot of Ice Rider prior to this.
Yeah,
I have been playing a lot of Ice Rider, so like it was just like, oh hey, do you just want to play like slightly different Ice Rider, Thatch? And I'm just like, yeah, that's exactly what I want to do.
So when I was,
and it's just like, what if Ice Rider could do more things?
When I was looking up the deck, there were some like optional like cards that people were like talking about but never actually put in their deck.
Mm-hmm.
Like for instance, Galarian Zigzagoon to kind of like help it hit the 280 a little bit easier.
I do run that because there are some situations where you might only be able to hit 270 because you only have the 3 energy on it. I do run the Galarian Zigzagoon as like a backup. I've probably played something around 30 games so far with the deck, and I have never needed the Ziggy. I do want to say that.
It's good to have.
It's good to have.
It is good to have.
But I have never needed it.
Is it just like,
I haven't played a lot of Palkia. I haven't played a lot of Palkia.
Is it like a one of in your deck, or?
Yeah, it's a one of.
Yeah. You hope that you only need to use it once to take one.
Yeah,
knockout.
the only downside to that deck that I've noticed thus far is that your bench space comes at a premium, because you have a Kyurem, you have a Palkia, you've got an Orangaroo, and you've got a Bibarel. That's already 4 Pokemon, so you've got 2 more bench slots. And a lot of the times what you really want is you want to be able to put down another Kyurem just to sit there and be ready. And then occasionally you'll want to like throw down a Crobat. So like you're kind of squeezing bench space. It's definitely not ideal, but it's still a fun deck. I really like it, and I think it might be one of the better decks in the format right now.
I agree. It's definitely one of the top ones, and it's got a lot of hype around it, which is why in my own personal lists, I'm prepared for it.
Yes, you have to be. I don't think anybody's prepared for it right now, which is making it easier for you to win with it.
The fact that it can do technically unlimited damage while also being more of a 2-hit mon than a 1-hit mon, bananas.
It is doing uncapped damage, and it's doing crazy. But I don't want to keep talking about Kyurem. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the Zoroark deck.
Alrighty.
With Basket, because
heck yeah,
this deck is so much fun.
It's got a really, really cool mechanic. All right, so the whole mechanic of the deck is based around an attack Tricky Curse. So it does 50 times damage for each of the Pokemon of your Pokemon, to be clear, that has any damage counters on it. And you're using things like Gapejaw Bog, the Stadium, to put the counters on your Pokemon, as well as Gengar. This is such, I really like this Gengar. So
this is so cool.
So it has an ability called Back Alley Gate, and it says once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in your discard pile, you can put it onto your bench. Then you put 3 damage counters on the Pokemon. And then you can also do an attack where you put damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon. Sorry, I'm gonna go over it because it's a pretty cool. I don't know if people are using it, but it's pretty cool.
I have not seen many people use it. A lot of the lists have.
I've used it once accidentally because I had nothing else to do, and I got a knockout on something with it. So I was just like,
it's a lot of people run 1 or 2 psychic energy to be able to, but I haven't seen it happen. But that's just because I haven't played against or with a lot of Zoroark.
With one of the deck lists I have, it runs it. The other deck list that I like a little bit better doesn't run it because it's just all about the Zoroark all the time.
Yeah, it totally is. And the Gengar's there for its like super cool ability, but I like its attack too. It's like Screaming Circle, 2 damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon for each of their benched Pokemon. So that's like a nice little way to just kind of do like a finisher. You know, if they take out your Pokemon and it's still got some health back, throw out the Gengar, bam. You can do some decent damage with that, like, or, you know, enough to take something out.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing to keep in mind for that specifically, as well as a couple other cards that we'll talk about in a little bit, is the fact that putting those damage counters on your opponent's active is an effect of an attack. It is not damage. So that's an important distinction that we'll go into a little bit later. If you're not familiar with the TCG, there are some weird wordings. You know, it sounds like it's doing damage. It functionally is doing damage, but it's not doing it with a number next to the attack name. So it's doing it by the text under the attack name, which is the effect of an attack. Some tools, some Pokemon can completely block that. You've got to be able to adapt to situations and kind of be familiar with the general rules of the card game. So, ta-da! That's all.
That's been Seth's comments.
Yep.
Yeah. I know, since this is a general show, I'm trying to keep it as
absolutely
beginner friendly as possible. So
no, and and for me, I always have a hard time with that too, because it's like
we all three know so much about it. We're experts in our field, so we get into the lingo real easily. So trying to take a step back and
Pokemon
let normal
PhD.
listeners be like, okay, cool. How else are we going to indoctrinate people and make them spend all of their money like I did with Thatch? I mean, what? Who said that?
You didn't make me. I did it of my own volition. Stop it.
And the fact that you believe that is meaning that I succeeded.
I didn't lose my house because of you. I lost my house because of me.
I made my own choice to gamble it. I put my house deed on the table in Las Vegas. It was me.
Something cool too is so you got an item card damage pump, and that lets you move 2 damage counters from like your Pokemon to one of your other Pokemon, and that's cool because if you can get this might not be the best way to do it, but I like the idea of being able to like push Gengar off the bench somehow and then bringing him right back up to try and just like add more of the counters. And there's better ways to do it, but the damage pump is there for you to move that stuff around.
Yeah. It's good if you whiff a Gapejaw Bog and don't be able to put damage counters, because what Gapejaw does is it puts 2 damage counters on any Pokemon that you put into play. So like turn 1, you're missing damage counters, so your damage cap with Zoroark is lower than it should be. With Gengar and the damage pump and those kind of things, any Pokemon that comes into play without a Gapejaw doesn't have counters, but now it does. So
exactly,
boom, that's how that works.
And that's pretty much it. You're using like we said before, you're using Zoroark to do the real heavy hitting, and you've got your choice belt to hit some numbers, you can also I'll go ahead. The terrifying thing about Zoroark is how astoundingly quickly
it can go super
very
fast.
High numbers, because between just requiring a double turbo, like 1 energy attachment to do this, 50 damage multiplier on everything, you hit 300 and the double turbo brings it down to 280 if every single one of your 6 Pokemon has a single damage counter on it at least.
Yep.
And Zoroark's V-Star ability is a Professor's Research. Discard your hand, draw 7.
It's so bad. It's so
It
bad.
is so incredible, honestly,
it is very
because then
fast.
it gets your Gengars in the discard. It gets everything else you don't need in the discard. You play a lot of things.
I think it
but-
could very well be. I mean, I could see any of these decks that we're talking about today like winning a tournament. Just because I think it's just fun. I think they're just fun and they're good.
Yeah.
What?
I'm going to give a Yu-Gi-Oh player a heart attack and say, you can draw 14 cards
In a turn.
in one turn easily.
What is this? Is this Pokemon in 2000 in the year 1998?
Yeah.
Also, if you really want to shore up your Zoroark, you can get the Dunsparce from what's it from?
Heck yeah.
Mm-hmm. Evolving Skies, I think.
Fusion Strike.
FST.
Fusion Strike.
Yeah.
Fusion Strike.
And it's got the ability Mysterious Nest. Your normal type Pokemon, normal type Pokemon, both yours and your opponents, have no weakness.
Makes your Zoroark Regirock proof. Very good deck if you just really hate the timer and want to go at the speed of sound.
All right, Seth. Well, you tell us about Giratina V-Star. I want you to give us the lowdown because I've played it a little bit. I don't like the list I'm playing, but I haven't played your list yet, which is a little bit modified. And has some of the things I like that I wanted to put into my list.
Yeah. Heck
I
yeah.
want to have you talk about it and tell everybody how it works and everything that's good about it.
Absolutely. I'll go over like what Giratina is and what it can do. Giratina is a big, huge monster Pokemon. It can operate off of the new Lost Zone mechanic, but its big selling point is that its attack for Grass Psychic Colorless, which sounds odd, but it's very easy to accelerate, does 280 damage, with the only drawback being put 2 energy attached to any of your Pokemon into the Lost Zone. So you can cycle.
Just as a reminder to everybody as well, like 280 is like the huge number if you're not playing TCG. If you hit 280 right now in the current TCG meta, that is the magic number, and you will be able to do everything you could ever want.
Yeah, pretty much all the V-Stars have 280 or less, so you're taking out every one of those. The next important V-Maxes have a little bit higher, but Mew is at 310, which is this 280 number plus 1 choice belt, which adds 30 damage. The V-Maxes have something that they can
And you said you
stop
hate
with too.
math.
I know, I do, but it's not like multiplying by 20 math. This is 280 plus 30. Like, that I can do.
That I am fairly confident.
That I can handle, but how many bench Pokemon are there? 20, 40, 60? No, that's stupid. But Giratina's big point is that it just does 280. Now, there are a couple ways to play Giratina to get that weird energy cost fixed. One way is using the Lost Zone engine, which is kind of what the TPCI people seem to want you to do. Because there's an item called Mirage Gate that if you have 7 or more cards in the Lost Zone, search your deck for 2 basic energy of different types and attach them to your Pokemon any way you want. So you get 7 things in the Lost Zone, you throw down a Mirage Gate, you get the Grass and Psychic energy out of your deck and attach it to 1 Giratina. Then all you have to do is attach 1 energy from hand, and it has from 0 to 100. It can attack this turn. There's ways to get cards in the Lost Zone. There's the Comfy, which is basically like an acro bike. You look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put 1 in your hand, put 1 in the Lost Zone. That accelerates to the Lost Zone to get to that 7 number. There's Kolra's Experiment, a supporter card that came out in this set. Look at the top 5 of your deck, put 3 of them into your hand, put the other 2 in the Lost Zone. You can cycle between Comfy in the active slot and get a lot of things that way. So you can very easily and quickly by turn, usually 2, possibly 1, get a lot of cards into the Lost Zone and be able to Mirage Gate really early. That's one way to do it. The Lost Zone engine is very strong. It has been performing very well in online tournaments.
Has it?
So
I haven't paid attention to the tournaments
honestly.
yet, honestly.
Yeah, it's been doing really well. People are figuring out the exact 60 you need and what other techie
I'll have
things
to
you
keep
can
an eye
do.
on
Because
that.
Mirage Gate is super cool because it doesn't specify it has to be a V you attach to. It doesn't specify really anything else. So the random tech attackers you can throw in. For example, I've seen and played around with one list that used an Empoleon V in the Lost Zone thing with a couple water energy. And that shuts down basic Pokemon abilities. So your Oranguru? No. The Comfy? No. Turns all of those off. Even the Regi list, which you turn off the Regigigas and the Regidrago. So they lose their ability to do anything. And you can move energies around. It's cute. what you can do with the Mirage Gate. You can also charge up the Radiant Greninja to do 90 to 2 things and take out 2 opposing Comfy. It's very cute.
It is cute. I like the Arceus variant better, though, currently.
Yep, which is the one I'm going to talk about next. We've talked about Arceus until the cows come home, and Arceus is very good. It does 200 damage and attaches 3 basic energies from your deck to a Pokemon V. So you get Arceus charged up, you slap something with that Trinity Nova attack, and you have a Giratina on the bench already charged up for next turn. So
yeah, no, I like the Arceus variant better. I think it's just simpler.
The Arceus variant to me seems a lot less fragile, so that's good. You can also run it with a supplementary attacker, whether that's, I guess, Flying Pikachu VMAX or other such things. You can do a lot more with it.
Don't make me go buy a Flying Pikachu. I really don't want to have to go buy a Flying Pikachu.
I know. I'm going to try it. I'll report back. I'm in another tournament tomorrow, and I'm probably going to try this variant. I'll see what happens, because if I lose to a Radiant Charizard deck again, where that's their only attacker, I will have a conniption fit.
I saw that, and I was just like, how did you lose to this?
I was livid. Like, I faced it, and like I thought looking at his deck, because it's the open deck list thing. You see the deck your opponent's playing before you even flip your first card over online in this one. And I saw their only attacker was like maybe the Inteleon that does 120 and 20 ping, and the Radiant Charizard. And I'm like, okay, cool. All I have to do is find Lost City, and I win, because then it sends their one Radiant Charizard they can play to the Lost Zone. And I just like, well, cool. I never found the Lost City. There were 2 of them. None of them were prized. I never saw them. And this Charizard just completely ate my Giratina alive, and I was just sitting there livid, because it's like, this should not happen. This is not allowed. But had I had the Pikachu, I also would have failed, because the Inteleon could attack it. But it would have been cool. But yeah, Giratina is incredibly strong. It is, we mentioned earlier that the problem with the TCG in the Astral Radiance format was there was kind of a soft damage cap on what things that were good could really reach. Giratina blows that out of the water just by itself, because it can, with a Choice Belt and a Radiant Hawlucha on VMAXs, hit 340, which one-shots Kyurem, it one-shots this Aggron, it one-shots Duraludon if it doesn't have a big charm attached. It's wild, and it just makes it so a lot more things are at risk of being one-shot as opposed to two-shot. So that is Giratina in a nutshell. Like I said, there's a couple ways to play it, and I've been really enjoying the Arceus build. I'm trying out the Lost Zone one. I don't like it as much, because with the Lost Zone, like you throw things in the Lost Zone and you can never get them back at all. There's no Ordinary Rod for the Lost Zone. They are gone for you for that match. Mm-hmm. I don't like having to make that micro decision 5 or 6 times a turn.
It was
that
so
just
slow.
Feels bad to me.
I've played against people who've done it, and it's so slow.
That too, because you're having to make these decisions 3 or 4 times every turn.
Yeah, that's sad, because it's such a cool
It's a lot. It's very mentally taxing. It is. And if you're good at resource management and can more accurately determine, like, yep, I don't need this card ever again. If you're better at that than I am, you're probably going to be okay with a Lost Zone engine. But I second guess. I doubt myself a lot. I would not do well, especially in a tournament format where I'm physically holding these cards and I may or may not have a good poker face. I do not want to play this in real life, so I'm just not practicing with it, because I don't believe I would do well with it.
Is there any benefit to running the Lost Zone mechanic over Arceus?
Yeah, honestly, the amount of...
You could use the V-Star attack.
You can use the V-Star attack on Giratina, which I didn't even touch on. Giratina's V-Star attack, because all these V-Stars have a cool, like, big once a game attack they can do, or a power they can do. Giratina's Star Requiem, coolest attack name, by the way. You can only use this attack if you have 10 or more cards in the Lost Zone. Your opponent's active Pokemon is knocked out. That's it. Knocked out. The effect of an attack, yes, but it's just knocked out. Now, there are some of the big chunkier decks that have big bulky Pokemon. For example, some Goodra are starting to run a tool card called Big Parasol.
Oh, yeah.
Which, if a lot of people probably won't know what that does. What it does is, if this tool card rather is attached to the Pokemon in the active slot, so your front Pokemon, prevent all effects of attacks done to this Pokemon and Pokemon on your bench. So a big Pokemon holding a big parasol, you use Star Requiem and they just nod their head and say, okay, my turn now, because it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining this little Pokemon with a with this tiny little umbrella.
Big parasol.
Like this
A Sobble with an umbrella.
Requiem
Star
attack,
Requiem.
just destroying everything except for that little
Yeah.
like 3 foot.
The guy with the umbrella does have to be in the active slot, so kind of. But yeah, like, oh, I'm so sorry. But like that, there's another one. There's the Sableye from this set that's also really good. If you have 10 cards in the Lost Zone with the Sableye, you can just drop 12 damage counters all over your opponent's field as wherever you want. But unless they have a big parasol on their active Pokemon, then nothing happens. Because it blocks it from not only the active, but your entire bench. They don't get to drop a damage counter anywhere. It's great. Here I am spreading umbrella propaganda.
I want to move on before you keep.
Yeah,
gushing.
let's talk the fun ones.
Let's talk some fun
I
ones.
totally forgot about those. Yeah.
I want to speed round this so that we're not doing an
Yeah.
hour-long episode. So there are some fun decks that came out of Lost Origin, and I want to give them all honorable mention. I'm actually sleeving it up right now, but Clefairy came out. Clefairy, very quickly. You can pair this with the Basket Legion that also came out in the set as well. Those are the main engines of this deck because it's mostly just energy and like 2 supporters.
What does the Basket Legion do? Well, what does the Clefairy do? Then what does the Basket Legion do?
The Clefairy has an ability called Moonwatching Party, which allows once per during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, for each of your bench Clefairy, you may search your deck for a Psychic Energy and attach it to that Clefairy, then shuffle your deck.
Oh my god, for each of them?
Yes, for each of them. So if you have 1 Clefairy out on the active, and you have 3 on the bench, those 3 on the bench get an energy.
Oh my god.
And then what you do is you just play a bunch of switches and air balloons, and you just keep cycling them on and off the bench.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And then they fill up with energy very quickly, and then their attack, which is 3 colorless called Wonderstorm, does 20 times the number of damage, psychic energy on the field on your side.
No. It's like Shadow Rider, but good. Oh no.
Yes, it's. I mean, you might be able to pair it with Shadow Rider, but it'd be bad. You obviously play the Galarian Articuno from a previous set, which allows you, when you put it on the bench, you can take 2 cards from your 2 psychic energy from your hand and just attach it to it. There is a Basket Legion from this set as well, so because your Clefairy is a single prize with 60 HP, it's getting knocked out every turn. There is a Basket Legion though from this set that, for no energy, because it's a Hisuian Pokemon, can do an attack where it does 20 times the number of energy in your discard pile.
Oh my god, it's the Volcarona V.
It's the Volcarona V for no energy.
No.
And it shuffles them all back in.
No.
And on top of that, you could just be running rescue carriers at the same time and like pulling the Clefairy out of the discard.
Oh my god, yeah, because it's got less than 90 HP. You can use it. Oh, what the heck?
It's a fun deck. It's a fun deck.
What the heck? I need to build this.
I'm literally sleeving it up right now. It's a fun deck.
Do you run like 15 energy or 20 energy?
17.
What?
It's what I've been running.
17 energy.
17 is what I've been running.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that's Clefairy. Next on the list is Finneon. I haven't played a lot of Finneon though.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
What's the Finneon? The Finneon is the one where it makes your Pokemon with Swim Freely attack for free.
Yeah, and Luminion
right?
has that.
Yeah. I think the big one's Dugong, right?
Dugong, I believe, has that as well, yes.
Yeah, I think Dugong's your main attacker?
It does not allow you to attack for free. The Finneon, what it does is, as often as you like during your turn, you may attach a water energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon that has a Swim Freely attack, but the Finneon's a basic.
Oh.
So it's better. It's a little bit better than the Frostmoth.
Okay, so you do have to run energy. Okay, got it. So it's like Frostmoth on a basic with anything with that attack name. Okay.
Yes.
That's
It's a
cool.
cute
That's
deck.
really cool.
These are just quick decks, though, that you could buy very cheaply and do whatever you want.
Yeah.
The next one is going to be Electrode V, and I think Basket knows more about it, so I'll let Basket quickly explain it.
Yeah. So, it has an attack for no energy, and it's called Tantrum Bomb, and it's 100 times. This attack does 100 damage for each special condition that this Pokemon is affected by. So what you're doing here, which is like very fun, very cheeky, is you're using like your draw options like Bibarel or Peony, and you're looking for cards that like make sure that Electrode will get like 2 or more special conditions. Then it can and so like it attacks with the Tantrum Blast, which does the 100 damage for this each special condition, right? So you're just stacking it on there. And you've got like the curry, spicy seasoned curry and Parasec's exhaustion spores ability. You can do, and then you're using wind up arm to like make sure that the Electrode V can attack even though it's affected by a sleep.
That's right, because the Parasec, it puts you to sleep or paralyzes you or something. So otherwise you wouldn't be able to attack if you don't have the tool.
Yeah, so
that's cool.
It's pretty cool. And like I just love the idea of like putting your weird like wooden electrode out there and like forcing it to sleep. And then like I don't know what you're doing. Like if it's asleep, like are you like picking it up and like throwing it? Like are you just
you the trainer are just chucking this bomb at.
Are you playing kickball with this electrode?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a fun little it's a fun little
love
thing.
it. Yeah, because that reliably or semi-reliably hits 300, right? And then poison is one of the other conditions Parasect does.
So fire, I think it's the seasoned curry, and then the the poison comes from I don't remember.
I think it's burned with the seasoned curry. It's poison and sleep or paralysis, one of the two. Probably sleep. Poison and sleep with the Parasect. So that's 300, and I was wrong, too. What makes this deck so much better? I thought it was going to have a problem, because the Seasoned Curry also, like, heals, 20 or something, and then burns you. I thought you had to be slightly damaged before. You do not, apparently. You can just play the Curry for the... even if there's no damage on the Electrode, to quote-unquote heal it and burn it at the same time. I was thinking I was going to be stuck playing Gapejaw Bog with this thing, but nope, you can just play it. And... the other cool thing that's a really important element is the Radiant Hisuian Sneasler, which increases, if something's poisoned and takes damage, it increases the ticks by 2 more damage points. So that, my friends, after everything, is 330 on something. Goodbye, Q-Rim. You've been poisoned / electrode bombed to death.
Yeah, it's such a cute deck. It's a cute deck.
I'll build it eventually when I finally decide to buy the electrodes. The only way you can get them right now, I think, is the full art version.
You can only get the full art
regular art versions in a box.
Yeah, it's going to be a promo instead, which is kind of dumb.
Yeah, which are kind of expensive for running 4 of. I think they're like $5 a piece when I last looked.
Oh, so the full arts?
Yeah. I'll get it eventually.
Now I want to find something. Yeah. I want to find a score bunny that I can like put in here, so I can imagine the score bunnies kicking in their face. Great. Fantastic.
Sucker.
I just want to make a couple of honorable mentions before we quit. There's some good cards that came out of this set that are cards that became good. Just 2 of them that come to mind. One is Lost City, which we've mentioned before, which is a stadium that just lets you knock things into the Lost Zone, which you cannot retrieve them from, which kind of helps shut off things like Reggie's. I mean, I think both of these cards that I want to talk about briefly are just about shutting off Reggie's. And
Reggie's and single prizers.
Single prizers, yeah. And those are which is fortunate / unfortunate. So that's really good for knocking things out, though, mostly for single prize decks that require you to grab things out of the discard. The other one is Empoleon V. Empoleon V has gotten a lot better. It is from an older set, which said
Battle Styles, I think?
Styles, yes. Because I know it's E-Block. And it's in Battle Styles. It does allow you to... oh my gosh, what's the word? It when it's out there...
The ability.
Yeah, the ability is all about stopping any non-V basic Pokemon from having an ability.
Of which now, with this set, there are a ton out there. The Comfy Engine.
It shuts off the Clefairy like we were talking about. It shuts off the Finneon like we were talking about. It shuts off Reggie's.
The
Rangaroo, yes. So this is...
Soul Rock.
Definitely is a good card to have around. I would recommend
it. Does have to be active, which kind of stinks.
Yes,
but
it does have to be active. Sometimes you could run 2, I guess, but I don't know how much I really want to play into that, because like the way I see it is like it's a tech card, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't want to sit there and be like, oh yes, let me put in dedicate too much space to a tech.
Exactly.
But it's definitely something to look out for and think about. But yeah, that is gonna be it. We got like a good 50 minutes here, so enjoy your show, kids.
I love it. Enjoy your competitive episode.
Yes.
It's the TCG this time.
Okay, on that note, we're going to kick everything on over to the Pokemon of the episode. So let's cue that epic music. And welcome to the Pokemon of the episode. Our Pokemon of the episode is Eternatus, the gigantic Pokemon.
The core on its chest absorbs energy emanating from the lands of the Galar region. This energy is what allows Eternatus to stay active.
I hate that it's called the gigantic Pokemon.
I didn't realize that was its classification.
I hate that. I hate it. I hate it.
It is the biggest.
It is the source of Dynamax, I guess. I hate this.
How big is Wailord again? It's smaller than this thing, even in its base form.
Eternatus is big, and its stats aren't bad either. 140 HP, 85 attack, who cares? 95 defense, that's pretty decent, especially with the Poison Dragon typing.
Yeah, it's kind of handy.
145 special attack, which based on this move pool is used very well. 95 defense, special defense, great, and 130 speed. On top of that, it also is like, it just like Zacian and Zamazenta is very good at anti-Dynamax.
Yep.
Which gives it that ability on top of that, just because it has the attack Dynamax Cannon, which is the dragon type move, to complement both Shield Bash, or whatever it's called, and Behemoth Blade.
Behemoth Blade, yeah. For record, Wailord is 47 feet long, and Eternatus in its base form is 65 feet long.
I did not know that.
In its Eternamax form, it's 328 feet long.
I believe that.
So it is, in 2 counts, the largest Pokemon currently out there.
So we do have a BSS team this week for you guys that Sigma has sourced from Twitter. It's got Eternatus on it. Eternatus is holding a Light Clay. It's got Pressure, level 50, 204 HP EVs, 164 defense EVs, 140 speed EVs, bold nature, just be bulky. It got Dynamax Cannon, so it can hit hard on Pokemon that decide to Dynamax, because Dynamax Cannon doubles in power just like Behemoth Blade does. A Mystical Fire to help drop special attacks. Light Screen and Reflect, because it's just a dual screen setter. And it's essentially just better than running Grimmsnarl for the most part in singles.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of screen setting. So there you go. That's Eternatus. It's doing big things. Kyurem White is also on this team because we sourced a team specifically that did not have Zacian, Kyogre, or Yveltal on it. Because that is the core of every single team in the meta right now.
Yeah.
It's got its Turbo Blaze ability, 84 HP, 196 special attack, 228 speed. Timid nature, because you got to go fast. Freeze Dry, because it's just a good move. Earth Power, because again, it's just a good move when you go big. Fusion Flare, good move. And Sheer Cold, because when you go big, Sheer Cold actually turns into like the Max Hail. And and honestly, in BSS, just having Oko moves is really nice, because that means there's always a chance of you to win.
That's fair.
Well, you could just hit the 30%. When I started playing BSS again, when they honestly killed OU on cart, I started playing BSS again, and I started running Oko moves again, and it feels better than it should. I know it's 30% accuracy, but it feels good. Like, it feels good. Like, when you land one, you're just like, that's right.
I deserve this.
I deserve this. I deserve this win. No, I deserve it because I took the risk, okay? That's why I deserve it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I deserve this.
Totally.
I gambled, and it came out all Thatch.
It came out all Thatch.
I earned this.
All right, so take the next 2, Basket.
All right, so we've got Groudon with Leftovers, ability Drought for those weather shenanigans, and then 12 HP for a reason.
For a reason.
Well, I mean, I don't know what the 12 HP is trying to save it from.
It's probably... They're level 50. They're level 50, so it probably just throws off numbers a little or something.
Yeah, it probably lets it survive something very exact. I don't know.
Well, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was like, for a reason. 244 attack and 252 speed. And then it's got a Jolly Nature, because if you ain't first, you're last.
Heck yeah.
And then it's got Earthquake, Stone Edge, Substitute, and Bulk Up. Okay, that makes sense why it's got the Leftovers, the Substitute, and Bulk Up. I get it now.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? That 12 HP might be a lefty's number.
It could be.
Let me see.
It could be for Leftovers. That is very true.
And while he's looking that up, I'm going to continue on here. We've also got a Xerneas with Choice Band, ability Fairy Aura. 252 attack, 4 special defense, 252 speed. Jolly nature, again.
Oh, it's physical. It's physical. Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Yeah. And it's got play rough, close combat, rock slide, and horn leech. That's really cool.
I love physical Xerneas.
I don't think I ever played with a physical Xerneas before.
I did it. I've done it once or twice, and it was a lot of fun.
It's got the same attack stat as special, so why not?
It's a lot of fun. Also in Dynamax, you could just go big and max punch. Oh my gosh, how do I not remember any of the Dynamax move names today?
Max Knuckle. Max
Knuckle. That's it.
I've already started wiping them from my head. And by the way, the Groudon is a leftovers number. So
I believe that
gives it an extra point of healing.
Nice. I like that.
All right, Seth, take us home with these last two.
I will take you home with the last two definitely legendary mons. We've got first Galvantula, holding a Focus Sash. The ability is, of course, Compound Eyes. EVs are 44 HP, 252 defense, and 212 speed with a Jolly nature. That is apparently to outspeed Garchomp, so I'll let you know there. Moveset of Thunder Wave, Sticky Web, Lunge, and String Shot.
Oh my gosh, String Shot.
Lowering stats left and right. String Shot hits both opponents, lowers their speed drastically.
This is a BSS team, so it doesn't matter. But
oh, it is? Oh yeah, singles. Never mind. It hits one opponent and lowers its speed. Sticky Web is annoying, so
it's good. The String Shot's good for Landorus exactly though, because Sticky Web doesn't affect it if it switches in and out.
Yep.
So String Shot will actually lower the speed on the Landorus.
Mm-hmm. And then if you have something in front of you that's boosted a lot and want to get rid of it, we have an answer for you. That answer is Mimikyu, holding a red card. Level is 50, of course. EVs are 220 attack, 68 defense, and 220 speed. That is to outspeed Landorus Therian with a Jolly nature. And moveset is Phantom Force, Will-O-Wisp, Thief, and Curse.
Mimikyu is a great Pokemon to have the red card on.
Woo. Yes.
Ooh, and that's Ghost Curse too, so interesting.
Yeah, that one's fun.
I was thinking, like, why does it want to lower its speed? And then I had two brain cells rub themselves together, and it's like, oh yeah, that's a ghost type. It's damage.
Good to know that they're still there, Seth.
I really like this team. Like, it's really interesting.
It's fun.
Like with this,
it's cute.
Yeah, with this many legendaries, normally I'm like, bleh. But like they got really cool little things they're doing. It's cool.
They're all cute.
Yeah,
I like it. I like that they got a Galvantula and a Mimikyu on it. I've looked at a lot of these teams recently, and this one makes me the happiest. So, all right. Well, if you want these shiny, make sure you join our Patreon. We will give out the shiny versions of them this week, and we'll update for the ones last week, too, because Thatch just did not get to it. So, on that note, though, we are going to kick it on over to the mailbag.
It's mail time! It's time for the mailbag! Send in your emails!
And welcome to the mailbag. The mailbag, as always, is brought to you by the energy drink Green Toros, the energy drink that gives you hooves.
Hooves!
And if you're new to this segment or new to the show, this is where we read emails. You can send them in to us at puclpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you think. I don't remember what the mailbag question was last week. I definitely forgot to say one during the show, and I did not get to make the post for the show because my internet was being weird. I assume that's why we only got one email this week.
That would make sense.
We got one email today from Sandrew.
Nice.
Sandrew.
Nice.
I'm going to call him Sandrew. I like Sandrew. I want to go ahead and read it here a little bit, but if you want to email us next week at puclpodcast@gmail.com, let us know what you think of Lost Origin, or let us know what you think about Pokemon Stadium coming to Nintendo Switch Online. We'd love to hear your opinions on that. So, without further ado, let's jump into this email from Sandrew. Hello, Puckalonians. How are you doing? I am doing fine. I love that he answered his own question.
I, too, am doing fine, my friend.
I,
Thank
too,
you for asking.
Thank you, comrade. I'm here. I'm still waiting for my car to come back from the body shop. It's been like almost a month now since I've been hit. I'm driving this little Nissan Versa that I'm pretty sure if I just put a sail on it and put it in neutral, I could just sail everywhere because it's that light.
Wow.
You know, Thatch, there was a question.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. Pew, pew, pew. Shots fired. I love listening to your podcast with the most attention going to the trivia segment and Pokemon of the week. Well, somebody likes that segment.
Nice.
I hope my recently submitted questions made some contestants sweat. I am currently on a backlog and catching up on episodes, so I have still some ways to go. Hopefully not going backwards, please. This is not why I'm writing this email, though. Also because I am not writing about the mailbag question, rather something more recent and topical. Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 coming to the Switch as announced in the Nintendo Direct last Tuesday. My view on the upcoming Nintendo Switch Online service is currently 50%. Wait, is that a negative 50%?
Yikes.
There is a simple reason for this. The small message shown at the Nintendo Direct, Pokemon cannot be transferred to these games. This sadly eliminates for me the whole point of playing either of the titles. The main focus of these games are Pokemon battles, and make the Pokemon battles with your friends more engaging than battling via link cable. In some cases, you can gain access to Pokemon you could not through regular gameplay in Red, Blue, or Green. Without the capabilities of emulating Pokemon Game Boy games, you're stuck in mini-games or rental teams, which are, for the latter, to put it nicely, not competitively viable. Rental teams are garbage. They purposely make them bad. Like the Pokemon, always have at least one bad thing about them. If it's a fully evolved Pokemon, usually the move pool sucks, but if it's not fully evolved, it'll have a good move pool. It's awful.
It's the chance to give you an opportunity to learn.
And make you not able to beat the game. Yes.
Exactly.
You know what's worse too is if you do play with rentals, let's say you play with rentals and you do somehow manage in Pokemon Stadium 1, for example, complete Gym Leader Tower, they do give you a Pokemon at the end of that will just sit in a box somewhere on Pokemon Stadium.
Wow.
Waiting to be transferred to a game.
Rip.
Yeah, right? Rip indeed. It also makes makes entire areas of that game unusable, like Professor Oak's lab in both of them, completely unusable. Because that requires a game pack to do anything in. So
neat.
Yeah, it seems very odd to me that they put these games out there without trying to come up with a way. I mean, we have been asking for the mini games, right, to come back. And I'm sure that's the reason they brought this up. Was hey, you could play the Pokemon Stadium mini games because it's way easier for us just to emulate the game than to just repackage the mini games into something.
The part of me hopes, and I don't know the coding things behind this that this would take, but part of me hopes that this means that we'll get the old games and things like that, the Game Boy Color, whatever advanced things on an emulator on there somehow, and maybe then it will communicate. That would be cool. Maybe it's a work down the line.
I'm wondering if that's what it means, because there were rumors, like I said at the news, that they had put in the functionality into the emulator, and I'm wondering if this is just a placeholder until they want to announce hey, Game Boy games are coming to NSO. We're gonna give you these, and Pokemon's gonna be on NSO,
and it'll be able to transfer at that point. That would be cool. That would be awesome.
That's what I'm wondering, if that's why it's there.
And
I'm not
get you to buy 2 games.
100%. Honestly, I haven't paid for the NSO upgrade to give me N64 games for so many reasons. I have a lot of problems with NSO. I would pay for NSO if they put on Pokemon Red and Blue and let me connect it to Pokemon Stadium. I would buy it in a heartbeat.
Yep.
I would buy it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I have all the original hardware and I do it now that way. But there's no way to really enjoy those games without having the original hardware right now, which is kind of a bummer.
And there's kind of a market for it with the 3DS thing shutting down.
Yeah, no, there is a market for it, and I think they should. I think they might just be delaying the announcement of that until probably closer to Pokemon Day or something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Off the top of your guys' heads, do we know what would be the best one as far as rental?
I don't know.
None.
I've never played this game other than for 30 minutes total in my entire life.
Off the top of my head, I don't know the answer for rental teams because I don't play with rental teams. I purposely play Red and Blue so that I can get around using them. There's so many better teams that you could use instead. So many better teams. But yeah, I'm really hoping that they do something about this. It is kind of a bummer. At least we get the mini games, which is something. Something in big quotes. But
yeah.
I don't know. I have an N64. I'll just play it there. And honestly, N64s aren't that expensive right now. You could go buy an N64 on eBay or something. I think if you just want a stock one, because I think to myself all the time, oh, N64s are expensive. But then I go, oh no, just the stupid stuff that you want, Thatch. Those are what are expensive. I'm really into console modding. And so there's actually an N64 like mods you can do to get it to go out to HDMI. And but because of the chip shortage, it's stupid expensive. Like we're talking a couple $100 just to get the chip, and that's not even to get to install it. So you have to you can install it yourself, which I'm slowly becoming proficient at. I am not super proficient at it. I have soldered to the CPU on like a Game Boy Advance before, but soldering to the CPU on an N64, I'm like,
yeah, that would be scary to me.
Yeah, right now you can buy a copy of Pokemon Stadium for the N64 for $35 on eBay. Wow. And you can get an N64 with 4 controllers. It looks like for like 120. You can get one with like 1 controller for like a little under 100, but which isn't too bad. It at least lets you play Pokemon.
That's a thing.
At least lets you play Pokemon. So definitely think about that. All right.
Most about the prices.
Yeah, they're not crazy right now. Like they aren't crazy. Like I said, Pokemon Stadium 1 you can get for about $35. If you want like Super Smash Brothers, it is like $20. Like as long as you're not trying to buy like in-box games, pretty reasonable. Another thing you can always do is they do have like an R4 equivalent for the N64 where you could just like download ROMs and just play it that way, which I know somebody might like stab me for saying, but like you could do that. I mean, tell me how that's any different than what Nintendo's doing is other than they're just selling you a ROM. Yeah. So you just do that. You could do either. But yeah, some of the games are expensive, but then you get it on OG hardware and you can play with that really disgusting controller.
Well, I think for sparking the most discussion, this guy definitely gets the green Taurus.
Oh, he definitely does because he's also the only email.
But we would have given it to you anyways.
We're not done yet.
Oh.
Those are games which you can not simply dump on service only. Puzzle League or Snap, as they do not need access to cartridges to gain the full experience. The emulated versions of Red, Green, and Blue, and Yellow, Gold, Silver, and Crystal should have been added first. I kind of agree with that sentiment, actually. As we have seen on the 3DS, they do not need the Stadium games. The Stadium games, on the other hand, need access to those, so it may have been better to keep it off the surface a while longer. Sorry about the whining, but I really wanted to get my thoughts across. I have no hard feelings if this mail does not end up in the mailbag. Well, it did.
Joke's on you.
Joke's on you. You're the only one that made it.
You can't tell us what to do. We're going to read your email harder than ever.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see what happens in the future. They might add it. I kind of see this as like signaling that it's going to happen and that Nintendo didn't know what else to actually put in.
I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, I don't think they knew what else to put in to the N64 library, honestly. Because like they didn't just announce Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2, by the way. They also announced like
it was a bunch of them.
They announced like GoldenEye was coming, which is I think a much bigger deal.
And also Pokemon. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
And so I think they were just like, hey, because this is like one of the classic like damned if you do, damned if you don't type deals.
Exactly.
Because everybody was complaining about Nintendo being really bad about announcing which games were coming up on Nintendo Switch Online.
Yep.
And then they've like laid out like the next 4 or 5 months.
And then they complained about
but now I can't transfer my Pokemons. I don't feel like I have lost anything because 1, this wasn't something that I was hoping would happen. And 2, it's not something that I expect them to fix anytime soon.
Yeah.
All right then. Well, thank you for that, Sandrew. You are going to be getting the Green Taurus badge on the server. We will find you. We will give it to you. If we don't, just message us and we'll give it to you. I should say message a mod. Message a mod and they'll give it to you because if you message me, I will forget.
Yeah.
Do not message me. Go ahead, send a message. We will get you taken care of. All right. On that note, though, if you want to email us next week, like I said, just send us an email. What do you think about the N64 nonsense with Stadium 1 and Stadium 2? And what do you think about Pokemon Lost Origin if you're playing the TCG? Or do you want to play the TCG because we got super excited about it for the past hour and a half?
Or scream at us because we guessed correctly that Aggron's going to win this week.
Dude, if Aggron wins, I'll be happy. I don't think it's going to happen.
I know.
The most likely scenario is Arceus wins in an Arceus v Arceus matchup.
Well, Arceus Aggron. Arceus still wins.
Arceus Pika. I'll make that clear. Arceus Pika will win.
Arcachu. Arc Welder.
I don't know. All right. On that note, if you want to keep up with us throughout the week, go check out our social media over at Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and as well as TikTok, I guess. You can also, of course, go over to our Twitch at twitch.tv/PUCL Podcast, where I try to stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but life keeps happening. This week I'm looking forward, and I don't see a difference. I signed up for late night on Tuesday, so I'm hoping to be able to stream late night at 7 o'clock Eastern.
One of us. One of us.
That's not one of us. I would have done this anyway, Seth. I would have done this anyway. You were just the catalyst.
One of us.
You're just the catalyst. I probably would have started doing it probably in at the launch of Scarlet and Violet.
Gweeble.
I probably would have done it. But you can also, of course, check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/PuclPodcast. You can, of course, also support the show. Best way to do so is to go to Patreon at patreon.com/PuclPodcast. We really appreciate your support, but don't feel any need to do it. It helps us do some awesome stuff around here. Helps us do some giveaways, stuff like that. And in addition to that, you get some Pokemon. So what better than that? And soon, I think we'll be doing exclusive Game Corner episodes over there. So keep an eye out for that.
Woo!
Yeah, I know. On that note, we're going to go kick it on over to the end of the show. That was the wrong exit. Here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, I've been Trainer Thatch.
I've been Basket.
And I've been Seth Vilo.
And it's closing time.
It's closing time in Lavender Town.